How can such a small country, a seaside garden, be home to so many different traditions? Join us on the trip from north to south in search of Portuguese identity, from the handicraft to the religious and popular festivities and seafaring traditions.
Merida has emerged in the Portuguese cultural landscape over the course of time are handicrafts. Especially from the 17th century onwards, handicrafts started gaining relevance at a national level, especially in areas such as ceramics, tapestry, embroidery, jewelry, among others.
When it comes to ceramics, no one can be indifferent to the presence of one of the most well-known symbols of Portugal, the rooster of Versailles. This rooster is typically made in clay and, despite having its origins and greatest relevance in the north of the country, it's a national icon, also known in other countries as a Portuguese symbol. The clay style is also very common in the Portuguese traditions, and its production has more than 5 centuries of history. You can see magnificent examples of this type of ceramics, especially in churches, old train stations, and in many homes.
Another area with special emphasis on the Portuguese handicrafts is the jewelry, in particular the filigree. Filigree is an ornamental work of fine wire, especially gold and silver, formed into delicate tracery, demanding artisans much dedication. The largest production centers in Portugal are Gondomar in Porto and Povo de Lanhoso in Braga. Among other pieces of Portuguese filigree, we have the hearts of Viana, crucifixes, and earrings. These pieces are a decorative element to enrich traditional costumes in festivals, especially in the north of the country.
The Portuguese tradition in tapestry came in the 18th century and it has been used since then for decoration of walls and murals. Themes such as the feats of the Portuguese religion and others are depicted in carpets. In the national and international level, the most well-known carpets are without a doubt the Arraiolos carpets. They have emerged in Alentejo, in the village of Arraiolos, hence the name, but they are already produced all over the country. These carpets are characterized by being embroidered in wool on a linen or cotton canvas with a Arraiolo stitch unique in the world.
Another form of handicraft of Portuguese tradition is, without a doubt, the bobbin lace. This textile art has sprung up in Portugal and also through Europe between the end of the 15th century and the beginning of the 16th century during the Renaissance period. The kinds of bobbin lace better known in Portugal are the ones from Vila do Conde and Peniche. This type is very characteristic of Portuguese coastal areas and it requires hard work, dedication and patience. If you want to know more about the embroidery crafts, nothing better than to visit the Museum of Embroidery Crafts in Vila do Conde.
We cannot fail to mention the typical Valentine's handkerchief, more characteristic of the north of the country. These scarves were mainly embroidered by women was a way to spend their time. Women made these handkerchiefs to use then was ornament, but also to country their loved ones.
During the summer season, you can let yourself be led by the crowds that rush to popular balls, fairgrounds, and festivities that take place all over the country. In June, the city of Porto comes alive with the festival of Saint John, Festa de São João, and a magnificent fireworks display over the Douro River. Also in June, Lisbon's popular Saints Festival has everyone dancing to the sounds of the Arraiais, street balls, and the popular Saints Marches, a parade showcasing pageants organized by each of Lisbon's traditional districts. Besides music, dancing, and grilled sardines, you can also find a lot of romance in this festival. This is the time of the marriages of Saint Anthony, where we can watch many lovers saying "I do" at the Sé Cathedral of Lisbon.
Would you like to experience or relive the Bohemian life of university students? Then, you should head to Coimbra during student festivities at ribbon burning, queima das fitas ceremony. But if you prefer a more idyllic experience and dive into an ocean of flowers, visit the Camp Maior festivities in the Alentejo region and enjoy the beauty of a rural city covered in paper flowers. In the Faro district, you can also learn your first moves of corridinho algarvio, local folk dance, and join the Algarves on popular fence celebrations.
Religion is a main motivator for many annual festivals and events. These are moments of age, historical importance, and great occasions for fun and celebration.
A good example of this is the Festival of Our Lady of Agony, Festas de Nossa Senhora da Agonia in Viana do Castelo. Its highlights include massive religion processions and parades of brides, wearing Minhos folk clothing, and adorned with the eye-catching local traditional jewelry, Viana's gold, Ouro de Viana, made famous by actress Charlene Stone. The origins of some of these events go back to the Middle Ages. In the city of Tomar, in the Ribatejo region, we can get in touch with these roads. Every 4 years, the Trace Festival, Festa dos Tabuleiros, takes place. Here, the center stage is taken by a parade of women carrying trays filled with flowers and religious symbols that go back to the age of the Temple Knights.
In the source, the Festival of the Divine Holy Ghost draws many immigrants to the highlands to be part of a tradition that goes back to the days of the archipelago's first settlers. In Madeira, Christmas begins with special religious services, the Missas do Parto. Both the religious and the pagan aspects of this tradition continues to attract many people, despite the fact that the services begin at 6 o'clock in the morning. These masses take place in all of the Highlands parishes, 9 days before Christmas. Each day represents a month of Mary's pregnancy.
Portugal still is quite a religious country. Throughout the year, many people walk on foot to reach the sanctuary at Fatima. They usually do this kind of pilgrimage when they are going through a difficult time, for instance, when someone they love very much is sick. They make a promise to Nossa Senhora de Fatima and have to walk to the sanctuary no matter how far they live. One of the most popular months for a Fatima pilgrimage is May. It is believed that in May 13 of 1917, 3 shepherd children named Lucia, Francisco and Jacinta saw the Blessed Virgin Mary. Since then, Fatima became a sacred place that gathers many practicing Catholics.
This is a very lively season in the islands as well. The Carnival of Madeira boasts an extravagant parade that brings joy to everyone. This tradition goes back to the 19th century, and some historians claim that it may have influenced the Brazilian carnival. Carnival is celebrated all around the country. In the district of Bragança, this period is invaded by the cheerfulness of the Prudence Carnival, when locals wear folk masks and transform themselves into caretas, supernatural creatures, and play pranks on unsuspecting bystanders. In the south, you can join the Lolé Carnival Parade, the oldest in Portugal, wear a mask and have fun with the popular humor and social satire of the event's costumes and the float's decorations.
In the Beirut region, it is impossible to avoid the beauty of Nazaré, a traditional town down to a car, from the boats and fishing nets to the folk clothing of women selling fish on the streets. In the Algarve, around the Rio Formosa area, the locals work as shellfish gatherers with boat tows, while in the Costa Vicentina area near Sagres, some people dare to climb down the sea cliffs to collect goose barnacles.